Hey there friends, I'm Andrew from the Scrapbox, and Superman is finally out. And we have a request.
I would like to have Legos make me a Lego. Make us a Lego.
So, from the mouth of Kal-El himself, we've got to design the entire cast of Superman as Lego minifigures. Let's get to it! Alright, here are the rules. We're designing the full cast of Superman CMF style. 16 figures with custom designed prints and parts, each figure coming with an accessory. There will be no spoilers, and the full cast was chosen on this criteria. Don't be a monkey, now let's go. Starting with the big blue Boy Scout himself. The best place to start is at the beginning. Oh, too far. Okay, there we go. Superman was DC's first superhero and has dozens of portrayals, both animated and live action. Kal-El is the standard that every other hero is held to, and there's a good reason for that. The Superman logo, or L's coat of arms, or the symbol of hope, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be the most difficult part of his outfit. Not so much in designing it, but rather the fact that it has to be printed on a blue torso, and printing on dark colors is an age-old nightmare. This Superman iteration definitely takes a House of L symbol approach, as it doesn't really represent an S, especially if you take away the border. But, without spoilers, I'm wondering if future appearances will have him sporting an updated, more S-like shape. I love his costume design overall. It bridges that gap between looking professional and can also be sewn by Ma Kent. Now, like I said, I was never a DC connoisseur, but I had shows that I loved watching. Smallville's Tom Welling was my childhood Superman, and funnily enough, he was David Cornsweet's as well. For the longest time, I think DC has been stuck in a rut of, let's make this incredibly dark with passive heroes. And it's been so refreshing to see them coming back to a state of hopeful optimism with heroes who really want to protect people.
Not crying.
I'm gonna send these designs to the UV printer and then add a classic red cape and some Superman hair. Also wanted to give each character a CMF style accessory, so his will be a little chunk of kryptonite.
That's kryptonite.
That's Superman, alright. Not looking too shabby either. As expected, the yellow on the logo is a little dark, but the line work on his outfit's really good. The blue on the red legs came out surprisingly well, but I will say the front leg printing is a bit off center.
Daddy's gonna haunt me.
I'm tempted to go back in the future and change the costume lines to white, which means they'll appear light blue on the blue torso. But for now, a solid 8 out of 10 for our very own fully customized figure. Very punk rock. Not bad, not bad. He turned out pretty good. But the battle between good and evil are flip sides of a coin. We cannot have one without the other. So we cannot have Superman without Lex Luthor. Let's make him next. I love this portrayal of Lex Luthor. Nicholas Hoult took the Superman hate up to 11. This is a Lex Luthor who has been continually thwarted by Superman time and time again for over 3 years, and he is at his breaking point. I know most Lex Luthor figures either have him in a suit or power armor, and though we do see him wearing power armor in this toy, it wasn't in any of the trailers, so I didn't want to take that chance. I went for this smug little gremlin look with a vest though. He's got rolled up sleeves and a tie. Perfect. I honestly can't talk about Lex without spoiling anything, but he was just so good at being the absolute worst. James Gunn heard Am's speech from I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream and said, nah, we could dial that up just a bit. This envious man gets a nice pair of slacks, black shoes, and a belt, with a nice little crease down the middle. Gotta look professional while crushing your enemies, you know? As for his face, Nicholas Hoult has this smug upturn of his lip that he does, and it's absolutely infuriating. So I did my best to replicate that as simply as possible. His accessory is going to be a little tool that he uses to help persuade people to give him information. Sometimes it helps, and sometimes, well, there's always more friends of Superman to collect. Unfortunately, the printer hated this torso. I did my best, and it just said, I know this is the 3rd time you've printed this and you've increased the brightness, but why don't we just make it incredibly dark anyways? Here, look at that. Head, phenomenal. Pants,
Spectacular.
torso, yikes. And for that, I can only give him a 6.5 out of 10.
That's sad.
Fine, I'll just remake the whole torso and print it another time.
I'm so happy.
8 out of 10. Better?
Wrap it up.
I like how he turned out. Nice, simple, and...
Where's the dog?
What dog?
The dog! You took the dog!
Oh, this dog?
Where's the dog?
This dog.
What did you say?
This dog? This dog. Or maybe this dog? This dog? This one. This dog. This dog.
He's just a dog.
Oh, that dog. Okay, I'll see what we can do. Krypto the Superdog is an interesting dilemma. There is a Krypto figure, but he definitely doesn't match the James Gunn version, who is a terrier mix. Luckily, LEGO has made a terrier dog mold, which means we could easily just take that and...
Coward. We have a new world to conquer. You make me sick.
Huh, I guess we'll be sculpting our own Krypto. There are 4 steps to turning a normal terrier into Krypto. Number 1, Krypto has one ear that points up and one ear that hangs down. So, while his left ear gets dragged upward, I'm gonna steal the top half of his other ear, drag it and rotate it downwards, then do my best to rebuild the ear back into the mesh like so. Why is its texture doing that? I have no idea, computers be weird sometimes. 2. While Krypto is a terrier mix, he's definitely larger than the Yorkshire Terrier this LEGO piece is based off of. So we're gonna have to give him some longer legs, like so, we just stretch him out. I'm also gonna take a moment to rotate his tail back a bit, which will be useful in the future. 3. Krypto, like any good pet, has a collar. Adding a basic cylinder around the neck should be simple, except in learning how to intersect items I may have messed it all up, but it's fine now, we're all good to go. And step 4, we must remove his head.
Seems a bit drastic.
Don't worry, we're simply creating a ball and socket for the neck so we could both install a cape and also rotate the head in the future, just like with Scooby.
Fantastic! That dummy looks just like Scooby-Doo.
Now all I have to do is smooth out any low polygon areas and send them off to the printer. He's looking good, but while he gets some extra power from our manufactured sunlight, I'm gonna cut this third-party cape, and then we'll paint him so we can take a final look. Well, that's it. That's the best we're ever gonna do. 11 out of 10, no notes. He is such a good boy. He just needs a bit of training. Oh, and of course a bone for his accessory. So far we've made Superman himself, we've given him a little diabolical competition, and some friendly animal companionship. But what this man needs right now is some romance. Let's make famed reporter Lois Lane. Rachel Brosnahan embodies the character of Lois. She's driven, determined, and is a true reporter at heart. This Lois is an amazing counterpart to Clark, and it's interesting to see the early stages of their relationship develop. She's the type of character to save the day, no powers needed. The downside is her main outfit is black vest, and black pants. Why is that bad? While the UV printer has fancy inks that cure in UV light, the basic principles of printing are the same as a regular printer. Imagine printing a beautiful photo on regular paper. Fantastic. Now imagine putting that same photo on black construction paper. It looks like a dark mess. UV printers, however, have white ink, so you could print that as an undercoat. Each layer will slowly brighten the section, making it lighter and lighter, but each layer adds a small height to the torso, and if the ink isn't fully dry, it'll completely destroy your print when you put another layer on. But these are the risks we take, and hopefully we can make it work. Lois gets a notepad and pen so she can report on any breaking news, and honestly, the torso's pretty good. The legs had a bit of trouble, but they're not nearly as important. And, oh, now I just realized that I wanted to put a little Daily Planet logo on her ID card, but I forgot.
Oh, wow.
Probably have looked too crowded anyways. She's definitely not perfect, but she's gotta be at least a 7.5 out of 10. Now we've already made ourselves quite the ensemble, but Superman isn't the only hero on the scene. We also have the Justice Gang. And yes, I can confirm that is the name they went with. Surprisingly, they're one of my favorite parts of the film, so let's make them. I think as soon as I saw Guy appear in the trailer, I knew this movie was going to be great. First off, absolutely fantastic hair. It's comic accurate, and now canon that Guy and Will have the same barber. So I'll have to steal a bleach blonde version of Will's iconic hairdo.
Perfect.
The fact that James Gunn was willing to commit to the bit and have characters looking as goofy as they originally appear in the comics made me realize that even if it's not quote-unquote the best movie, it'd still definitely be the weirdest. And most importantly, it's Nathan Fillion, Captain Reynolds himself. Every time this guy appears on screen, you know it's gonna be a good time. If there's ever a character who would just be the absolute worst, get Nathan to play it. And now he's the absolute worst, and you love him for it. He's the original Nathan Drake, and I will die on that hill. Love you, Tom, but good lord.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Luckily, Guy's outfit featured pretty prominently in the trailer, and with the help of some figure photos and on-set photos, I was able to parse out his entire fit.
Nice outfit.
Nathan Fillion's face is what the DreamWorks smirk was trying to portray, but couldn't quite get right. And that's no shade on DreamWorks, as the more I worked on this face, the less confident I felt on how it looked.
It's not looking good.
So, as happens from time to time, you gotta say,
This is an outrage! A travesty! Approved!
now every character needs an accessory, and though rings don't work very well with claw hands, we can still give Guy here a decent light construct. I've thought of the perfect object to sum up this portrayal of the character. While Thor may be the god of hammers, Guy here is the next best thing.
Oh, that was horrible.
Exactly. I think you turned out great. Clean prints, great portrayal, okay face. My one wish is that I put a dark line showing the bottom of the jacket, but overall, 8 out of 10. Hawkgirl, played by the explorer herself, Isabella Merced, and this character is 1, fantastic, and 2, requires a lot of customization. So let's go! It was really hard to find high quality photos of her actual outfit, but I've seen a lot of sneak peek photos, which gives us a general yet grainy look at her outfit. I found some high quality photos of her 6-inch action figure, which gives me an idea of where to put extra pattern lines. Since this video has been delayed, I actually got to watch the movie, and I have to say, each time this character showed up, she was brilliant, and they definitely need to give her more screen time in future films. I'm not gonna lie, I was tempted to cheap out and give her the standard Hawkgirl helmet, as well as the wings, but luckily, or unluckily, I don't actually have them. And while I could have picked the 3D model of her helmet and printed it, I noticed that her new helmet is more reminiscent of Wolverine's cowl and her hair pools from the bottom. Not only am I going to combine these two pieces, but I'm going to chop the back of the hair so she could have wings in the back as well. I've got my pieces, so let's start by chopping the back of the hair. Like most of my projects, I start off with one precise, calculated move.
Uh-oh.
Which is immediately followed by 10 minutes of panic as my brain screams,
What have you done?
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 Phew! Now I just have to slowly and painstakingly move all of the hair strands that poke out at the top, and then make sure it all looks pretty.
You're beautiful.
Now, what I really should have done is carve 3 stripes into the helmet so it'd be easier to paint. But sometimes I say, future Andrew, here's a little challenge for ya. And that guy has to deal with it instead of me, so it's all good, right?
Nope.
The print came out nicely.
I'm not Batman.
And for her accessory, I've got a little morning star.
That makes sense.
Altogether, this figure is pretty...
Ew, what is that?
The wings?
Unacceptable.
Look, you might be thinking, Andrew, those are not her wings, and you'd be right. You might also be thinking, didn't you just design a bracket meant to compactly display wings? And you'd also be right. Andrew, didn't you just spend forever sculpting the hair to accommodate the wings? You know, when you're right, you're right. I forgot all about the actual wings. But you guys gotta understand, it's not as simple as pressing a button. You gotta find some nice wings, load them up onto Blender, remesh it, and smooth out all the little low poly corners and faces, then send it off to the printer, wait an hour while it prints and dries, then paint it up, and nobody has time for, oh, here's the wings. Okay, now that she's fully put together, I have to say, I think this is my favorite figure so far, coming in at a full 10 out of 10. Mr. Terrific, the man who stole the show and possibly the only competent hero we see in the movie. He's also got by far the most difficult costume to convert into a minifigure. While the front of the outfit is impeccable, we run into some trouble when we get to the back. For emblazoned on his jacket in fancy text is his name, Terrific. For those unaware of the nature of reality, usually smaller things are harder to see. I think the smallest text on a torso LEGO has gotten away with is on the Harley Quinn torso. Or I'm sure there's probably some name tag that says Bob on it or something. But the point is, this is black text on a white shirt for maximum visibility. This is black text with a red outline on a black jacket, which is much, much less visible. And don't even get me started on the fair play, which is supposed to fit on the arms. Then to top it all off, LEGO's faces are defined by black lines for the eyes and mouth, and now I have to put a black T mask over them? How's that going to work? Honestly, not too bad. But the real question is, how does it look printed? Also, I just want to reiterate, I love his outfit, I love the character. It's just really hard to make this outfit tiny. Dare I say it? That looks terrific.
You stink!
This is less so. The ink from the side print bled onto the front, which is definitely not ideal. Now I'm going to give Mr. Terrific his circles, or T-spheres, though I can't really print designs on them. But for one of my favorite characters in the film, let's take a final look. Despite all of the technical difficulties revolving around his outfit, he came out really nicely. I managed to clean up most of the ink on the leg, and the mask is dark, but if you look close, you can still see the eyes and mouth. There's only so much I could do with the text, but it is legible. Taking in all the complexity of the design and the fact that it came out pretty well, I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. Eddie did a great job for his first time as a live-action superhero. Metamorpho will round out our heroes for the moment. With Guy Gardner, I gave James Gunn props for having characters look like their comic counterparts. Metamorpho takes that concept to the extreme, but James does always commit to the bit, and somehow he made it work.
Nice.
While I know the basics of the DC universe, the finer details are absent, so I had no concept of this man beforehand. The movie has a way of introducing characters though, so easily and in stride, so it was refreshing to get the gist of a lot of things without them having to stop all of the momentum, explain, and start back up again. Beautiful job. With all of that said, this guy is a weird looking dude. At the time, I only had photos to go off of as well as his action figure, so some of the material he's composed of was and frankly still is a mystery. Is this crystal?
Yeah.
Is this sludge?
I guess it's possible.
I don't know, but that's the beauty of Metamorpho. I also love that they gave him sports shorts, which may or may not be made out of his own flesh if you've watched the movie.
Ew.
His torso definitely is an interesting amalgamation of different textures, so that was fun to make. And oops, almost got me there. Sometimes you gotta be extra careful when you're randomizing shapes of rocks. One of my secret cheats for this man was using the front decal on the back just flipped, as time is finite. Fun fact, LEGO has already made a Metamorpho figure, so I've got some real competition on this one. For his accessory, he gets Baby Joey. And taking a final look, I'm surprised by how much I like him. Inside of me are two wolves. One says, "Andrew, you're doing too much, there's not enough time in the universe." And the other says, "Should I start designing prints for the backs of the legs too?" And honestly, folks, I'm so tired. 10 out of 10, he's perfect.
Yes, he's perfect.
They're great, love them to death. But here's the problem. We've made all of these heroes and only one supervillain. So it seems to me like we've got to add some more baddies. Speaking of baddies... Andrew, you cannot let that be the segue. So embarrassing. First we have the Engineer, who does have a large departure from her comic book looks, which is good for two reasons. One, because there'd be countless comparisons to the Silver Surfer, and two, because I'm learning just now that DC and Marvel differ in what they allow shown in their comics. But bad news is her outfit is black with little lines all over the place. It's a cool 3D texture, but very hard to depict on a 2D surface. I ended up getting a dark metallic torso and printing on that for reasons made clear in the future. This is one of those minifigures where I did not give her leg printing, mostly just because of time, and because it's dark lines on dark plastic. So the reward would not be worth the effort. As for her accessories, they're these rotating saws, which she can turn her hands into. Her angry face came out well, but those lines and all that hard work are barely visible. But such is life. Immaculate arm printing though. Overall, 7 out of 10. Not incredible, but definitely a Lego adequate edition. But I think we can all agree that any likeness falls short of the real Maria. Then we've got Ultraman, the second character wearing an all-black costume. The figures try to make him purple, but that's definitely not purple. Ultraman is a new, mysterious character for the movie. From the trailers we know that he can fly like Superman, is nearly invulnerable like Superman. He matches Superman's strength and endurance, and is named Man with an adjective in front which means better or greater.
Suspicious. Very suspicious.
Yeah, I have no idea what this guy's deal is. All I know is I hate the outfit. I actually printed him before Lois, and that's what told me, hey, it's probably not gonna really show up if you print on a black torso. I mean, I think it'd be fine if the silver bit showed up better, but unfortunately I have to give him a 5.5 out of 10. Lame, and if I had to print him again, I wouldn't. And also, I'd probably cop out like Lego did with Night Monkey and just make him gray. I just wanted to take a second to thank all of my wonderful Patreon members. My patrons are the reason why I could do big videos like this, where I take a lot of time to make all of these figures. Larger videos are always a bit more of a gamble, so because of these wonderful people, I'm able to do what I do. So thank you guys. You are the yellow sun that lets me soar. All right, back to it. Fine, Night Monkey, you win. So you got— oh, and the worst part is he looks good too. I hate it. I gave him a post-it note. I'm pretty sure it just says 1A over and over and over and over again on it. Now I'll give him a 7 out of 10. This next segment I like to call honorable mentions, mostly because I didn't know where to put them in the frame of this video, but I do have a few more characters that I've made for you guys. These last 6 figures will be mostly purist, with only 3 custom pieces among them. First up, we have Daily Planet reporter Clark Kent. He's rocking Triple J's blue-gray suit, comes with a Daily Planet newspaper accessory, Jay's lightly tousled hair in jet black, and a custom-created face you might have seen earlier in this video.
You look familiar.
I mean, I sure hope he does. Coming up next is Clark's best friend and secret Casanova, Jimmy Olsen. He's 100% purist with Anakin hair, Ron's retro-inspired shirt, Jay's tan legs, and Frodo's head. I didn't know I had this one. He's got a cell phone where it seems like he's texting someone called Mutant Toes? Then we've got a Superbot built out of various parts and a custom printed head. If this was a real CMF, Lego would probably put 4 of those yellow tiles in a box, each with a different numbered emblem. By looking at the screwdriver though, I'm guessing this is number 4. Hopefully he doesn't do anything violent with it. Here comes Eve, and man, I wish I had a purple dress. But I'm sure she has an outfit similar to Hermione's in her wardrobe. I gave her Miriam's face for the big prominent smile, but I think her eyes are actually a pale green.
Close enough.
And she also has a cell phone for important plot reasons. We're wrapping up our final 2 with Martha Kent with Umbridge's face, Lily Potter's torso, some black pants, and Ronald's hair. She has a camera for a really sweet spoiler reasons. And then at last, we have Jonathan Kent, wearing some blue jeans, MJ's plaid shirt, and an Obi-Wan head. I have no idea what item to give him, so please let me know in the comments. And there we go, 16 characters, a full CMF series, and the entire cast of Superman. And I have to say, as fun as it was to make all of these, I'm very glad to be done.
Hey! Quit messing around!
I'm not messing around. I'm doing important stuff.
There you have it, the entire cast of Superman as little Lego minifigures. I had a lot of fun making these characters. You might have also noticed that I put little time markers for how long each character takes, because I get a lot of questions about that. How long does it take to design a figure? How long does it take to sculpt? So average it out figure by figure. It also helps people understand that things do take time. You're watching a super duper condensed version, but it's gotta be at least 12 hours?
You are so wrong, bro.
Of just solid
so
work?
wrong. You're way off.
Maybe more? Now you know. Behind the scenes look. So there you have it, all tied up nice, neat, in a little bow, all of our favorite characters. And, as always, I've been Andrew. You've been watching the Scrap Box. Before you go, make sure to do all the YouTube things, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and comment who your favorite character was. I'd love to know. You have a wonderful day, and stay away from any green glowing rocks. Anyways, bye.